Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to explore a really simple but science-backed method for creating a connection so deep it can turn a polite, friendly chat into genuine, unmistakable desire. And it all boils down to asking the right kind of questions. It's a question a lot of really great guys ask themselves. Why is it that one man can say just a few words and leave this lasting impression, while another guy can do everything he thinks is right and somehow just fade into the background? Well, the answer has nothing to do with your looks or your bank account. It's all about understanding the psychology of desire. So, to get to that answer, we first have to take a sledgehammer to a huge myth, a myth that sabotages connection, especially for successful, established men.
I want you to picture two men on a date. Man number one, he basically hands her his resume. He talks about his career, his investments, all his accomplishments. He thinks he's proving what a great catch he is. Now, man number two, he does something totally different. He asks a specific kind of question that makes her feel fascinating. Well, man number one gets a polite hug at the end of the night. Man number two, he's the one she can't stop thinking about for days. So what's the game-changing difference here?
Well, the difference is all in the brain. You see, the first man's approach completely fails because he's talking to the wrong part of her mind. Let's break down the actual science of what's happening. This is what Dr. Narita calls the resume trap. It's this idea that if you can just logically prove you're a great catch, desire will naturally follow. And it's a super common mistake, especially for successful men who are used to winning in a world of facts and figures. But attraction, well, it just doesn't play by those rules.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. This is the biology behind it all. When you're talking about logical stuff, your job, your finances, her brain is in beta wave mode. That's her analytical, to-do list, bill-paying brain. It feels safe, for sure, but there is absolutely zero sexual polarity there. To spark real desire, you've got to light up her limbic system, the emotional command center of the brain. When you do that, her brain floods with dopamine and oxytocin. Those are the chemicals for pleasure and bonding. And guess what? You literally become the source of those amazing feelings for her.
This quote from Dr. Narita really it hits the nail on the head. This is the whole secret right here. You have to shift your goal. Stop trying to be impressive and start making her feel fascinating. Because when she feels seen and interesting and alive in your presence, she will find you endlessly fascinating.
So how in the world do you do that? Well, it's not magic. It all comes down to hitting three powerful psychological keys that unlock attraction. Let's get into the actual solution.
These three triggers are the deep dive, emotional safety, and grounded presence. They work together like a combination lock to shift the entire interaction from the logical and shallow to the emotional and deep. That's where the real connection lives. First up, we have the deep dive. You know how most conversation just skims the surface? How was your day? Oh, it was good. That keeps her brain's little worry center active. But a deep dive question, it just bypasses all of that. Instead of asking for a label, like what she does for a living, you ask for a feeling. That's an invitation to vulnerability, and that's where true intimacy begins. Second, and this one is huge, is emotional safety. Her nervous system literally cannot get into a state of arousal if it's in a state of stress. It's impossible. If she feels judged or like she's a problem you need to fix, her body just tenses up. So the key here is simple. Listen, don't solve. When you create a safe space where she can share anything without you jumping in to fix it, her emotional walls start to crumble. And when those walls fall, the physical ones often follow. And the final trigger is what we call grounded presence. This is that calm, confident energy that comes from being truly comfortable with who you are. So many men operate from a place of neediness. They need her to laugh at their jokes. They need her validation. And that's a turnoff. A man with a grounded presence doesn't need anything from her. He's simply there, present with her. And let me tell you, that calm is incredibly magnetic. Okay, so we get the theory, right? Now let's move to the most actionable part of all of this, the 3 specific questions you can use to activate these triggers, maybe even tonight. And I want you to think of this as a sequence. You're not just throwing random questions out there. You start with an opener to create those positive feelings, then you move to a deepener to build trust, and then only if the moment feels right, you use an igniter to build a bridge toward intimacy. So your opener is all about nostalgia. Ask her, what's the best adventure you've ever had? This question instantly pulls her out of her analytical brain and drops her right into a cherished positive memory. Her brain gets a little hit of that pleasure chemical, dopamine, and she starts to associate that wonderful feeling with, well, with you. Okay, next is the deepener. This question is built on creating vulnerability. It sends a powerful signal that you're interested in her inner world, her actual dreams, her fears, her hidden desires. It shows her you're a man who isn't afraid of emotional depth, and that creates that all-important feeling of emotional safety. And finally, the igniter. Now, this one is for when you already share some intimacy. It acts as a beautiful sexual bridge. You're not just asking about a physical thing, you're inviting her to relive the pleasure of a shared moment, connecting her emotionally and physically to that memory, and to you, right here, right now. Now, I want to end on a really, really important point, especially for the men watching this who are over 50 or 60. You might have this voice in your head telling you that age is a disadvantage. I'm here to tell you that when it comes to this kind of deep connection, you're just plain wrong. Your age has given you incredibly powerful assets. You have lived experiences to share. You have the patience to actually listen without needing to solve everything. You have real emotional depth. And you have the life experience to cultivate that truly magnetic, grounded presence. Believe me, these are the things that mature women deeply, deeply crave. So please remember this. Your age isn't something you need to overcome. It's your greatest tool for creating the kind of profound connection that younger guys simply can't offer. Real attraction isn't a trick. It's about genuine curiosity, it's about safety, and it's about presence. So in the end, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? Connection starts in the mind. If you shift your focus from trying to impress her to truly making her feel fascinating, you tap into the real, undeniable source of desire. Stimulate her mind, and the rest will follow.